What does it take to bring Simon Cowell to tears? Tonight on America's Got Talent, a humble singer named Jamal Roberts did the impossible, and we have every heart-stopping detail right here on Suliwa News. As the lights dimmed in the America's Got Talent studio, there was an air of anticipation that seasoned viewers had felt before. Yet tonight was different. The stage door opened, revealing a man in his late 20s, wearing a modest outfit and a nervous smile. His name was Jamal Roberts, a 28-year-old from a small town in Louisiana, stepping into the most important moment of his life. The murmurs in the audience hushed as he walked to center stage, microphone in hand, his eyes scanning the massive crowd before him. The judges, Simon Cowell, Howie Mandel, Heidi Klum, and Sofia Vergara, looked on with their usual mix of curiosity and skepticism. For Simon, whose sharp critiques have intimidated countless contestants, this was just another audition, or so he thought. As a reporter covering AGT for years, I've seen extraordinary performances, but what unfolded in the next few minutes would etch itself into AGT history. The lights bathed Jamal in gold, and as the music cued, the entire atmosphere shifted. What started as a typical audition soon became a story of raw emotion, resilience, and the unshakable power of music to break down even the toughest walls. When asked to introduce himself, Jamal's voice trembled slightly, not from fear but from the weight of the story he was about to share. Born and raised in a humble Louisiana neighborhood, he grew up surrounded by both the warmth of community and the harsh realities of economic struggle. Music had been his escape since childhood, a way to drown out the chaos of life and give voice to feelings he couldn't put into words. The loss of his father when he was only 10 years old left a void that nothing seemed to fill. Nothing, that is, except singing. He spoke about practicing in his small bedroom, using an old keyboard his uncle gave him, dreaming that one day his voice might reach beyond the four walls of his home. There was something different about the way Jamal told his story. No exaggeration, no self-pity, just honesty. As a reporter, you could see the audience leaning forward, absorbing every detail. It wasn't just an introduction, it was a quiet build-up to what everyone would soon realize was an extraordinary talent. His journey to the AGT stage had not been easy. Countless rejections, financial sacrifices, and moments of self-doubt stood in his way. Yet here he was, standing under the bright lights, ready to give everything he had to prove that dreams born in small towns can still echo across the world. The backing track began with a soft strum of guitar, and Jamal closed his eyes for a brief moment as if summoning every memory and emotion that had brought him here. Then it happened. The very first note escaped his lips, and an almost physical wave of stillness swept over the entire studio. It wasn't just pitch perfect, it was soul deep, the kind of sound that feels like it's telling you a story even before you understand the words. As a journalist, I've covered hundreds of auditions, but in that instant, I knew we were witnessing something special. Simon Cowell's eyebrows rose ever so slightly, a subtle but telling sign that his attention had been fully captured. Heidi Klum leaned forward, Howie Mandel's eyes widened, and Sofia Vergara exchanged a quick glance with the audience as if to say, "Are you hearing this?" The camera panned across the crowd, mouths slightly open, heads nodding, some even tearing up before the song had truly begun. Jamal's voice carried a natural, unforced vibrato, rich in texture yet vulnerable enough to pull at your heartstrings. In a world where many singers rely on theatrics or vocal gymnastics to impress, Jamal's authenticity was the showstopper. Jamal chose Hallelujah, a song so iconic and overperformed on talent shows that it often risks falling flat. But his rendition was unlike anything I had heard before. Stripped down to a slow, haunting acoustic arrangement, each lyric sounded like a personal confession. The way he shaped the words, lingering on certain phrases, made it clear he wasn't just singing, he was reliving something. As the chorus swelled, you could see the emotional build-up in the faces of the judges. And then, at the climactic final verse, Jamal's voice soared effortlessly into a pure, ringing high note that seemed to hang in the air. That was when the moment shifted from beautiful to unforgettable. Simon Cowell, the man famous for his steely composure, was visibly wiping a tear from the corner of his eye. The audience erupted in applause even before the song ended, and by the final chord, they were on their feet in a standing ovation that seemed to go on forever. As a reporter, I've witnessed standing ovations before, but this one had a different energy, an unspoken acknowledgement that we had all been part of something truly rare, a performance that transcended competition and became an emotional experience. As the final note faded into silence, the camera zoomed in on Simon Cowell, and what it captured was something that instantly became headline material, a single tear sliding down his cheek. For those who followed Simon's career, this was monumental. This is the man who built his reputation on brutal honesty, sharp critiques, and a poker face that could make even the most confident contestants crumble. Yet here he was, visibly moved, his eyes glistening under the stage lights. It was as if Jamal's voice had bypassed every wall Simon had ever put up and struck directly at the core. After taking a deep breath, Simon leaned toward the microphone and said, "Jamal, your voice isn't just beautiful, it's healing. I don't think I've ever felt a song quite like I felt yours tonight." Every single note meant something. The audience erupted in cheers, sensing that they had witnessed a rare and genuine moment. From a reporting perspective, it was clear this wasn't just praise for the sake of television. It was raw and unscripted, a moment of humanity from one of the industry's toughest critics. Jamal, visibly overwhelmed, covered his mouth with his hands, tears streaming down his face as he mouthed the words, "Thank you." The emotion in the room didn't end with Simon. Howie Mandel, known for his sharp wit and humor, leaned forward with a sincerity in his voice that matched the moment. "Jamal, you didn't just sing the song, you told your story and you took us all with you. This is one of the most authentic performances I've ever seen on this stage." Heidi Klum followed, her voice warm yet firm. "You have a voice of pure gold. You could sing anywhere in the world and capture people's hearts." Sofia Vergara chimed in with an enthusiastic, "I'm already picturing you in the finals. This is the kind of performance people will remember for years." Each judge's feedback added another layer of validation to what the audience already knew. Jamal had delivered something extraordinary. From my vantage point as a reporter, it was striking to see such unified praise from a panel that often disagrees. This wasn't just about vocal ability, it was about connection, authenticity, and the rare alchemy of talent meeting the perfect song at the perfect moment. If the studio's reaction was explosive, the online response was nothing short of a digital wildfire. Within minutes of Jamal's audition airing, social media lit up. Clips of his performance began circulating on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, racking up millions of views overnight. Hashtags like #JamalRoberts, #SimonTears, and #GoldenVoice quickly climbed to the top of trending lists in multiple countries. Fans shared their own emotional reactions. Some posted videos of themselves crying while watching, others tweeted about feeling chills with every note. Even celebrities chimed in, with a few notable musicians praising Jamal's tone and delivery. From a news standpoint, this kind of organic virality is gold. It signals that a performance has crossed from being a competition moment to becoming a cultural event. By the next morning, Jamal's Instagram following had tripled. His YouTube covers were seeing a massive spike in views, and fan accounts dedicated solely to his AGT journey were already being created. The momentum was undeniable. Jamal Roberts had not just impressed the judges, he had captured the internet's heart. After the thunderous applause died down and the judges' praise settled, Jamal was escorted backstage for a quick interview, and it was there that he delivered a message that only deepened the emotional weight of the night. Still visibly shaking from the adrenaline, tears glistening in his eyes, he looked directly into the camera and said, "If there's anyone out there who feels like they're not good enough, I want you to know, you are. I'm standing here today because I didn't give up, even when it felt like nobody was listening." He spoke candidly about the years of struggle, working odd jobs, performing in small cafes for barely enough to cover rent, and recording songs in a makeshift home studio because he couldn't afford proper equipment. Yet every time life tried to pull him away from music, he found himself coming back. As a reporter, watching that vulnerability unfold in real time was striking. It wasn't a rehearsed speech or a media-trained soundbite. It was raw truth from someone who had just experienced one of the biggest moments of his life. His authenticity made it clear why his voice resonated so deeply on stage. Jamal wasn't just singing, he was telling his own story, one that countless viewers could see themselves in. Just when it seemed the night couldn't get any more emotional, Simon Cowell, still visibly moved, stood up from his seat. The crowd erupted in anticipation, sensing what was about to happen. Simon locked eyes with Jamal, gave a small nod, and reached forward to press the iconic golden buzzer. The studio instantly exploded into a storm of cheers and golden confetti raining from above, swirling around Jamal as he dropped to his knees in disbelief. He clutched his face, laughing and crying all at once, while Simon walked to the stage to give him a rare congratulatory hug. From my position covering the event, it was a scene that felt almost cinematic. The man who had just bared his soul through music was being fast-tracked to the live shows, his dreams suddenly propelled forward in a single, decisive moment. The golden buzzer isn't just a ticket to the next round, it's a statement from the judges that they believe you have what it takes to win it all. And in that moment, every person in the studio seemed to agree. When the confetti settled and Jamal took his final bow, there was a collective sense in the room that we'd just witnessed more than a competition audition. We had seen a career-defining moment. For Simon Cowell, it was a reminder that even the most seasoned critic can be moved to tears by pure talent and honesty. For the audience, both in the studio and at home, it was proof that dreams are worth chasing no matter how impossible they might seem. As a reporter, I can tell you that nights like this are rare. They're the ones people talk about for years, the performances that become benchmarks for what it means to truly connect through art. Jamal Roberts walked onto that stage as an unknown, and he walked off as a front-runner, his name etched in AGT history. His voice had done more than impress. It had inspired, healed, and reminded millions that sometimes all it takes is one song to change everything. And as the credits rolled, viewers everywhere were left with one burning question. Could this be the voice that wins it all?